And we're back with Focus Delaware. Our first guest of the evening is Sam Beard. He's the executive of the Wilmington Waterways, and he's here to tell us about some of the exciting things that are happening in Wilmington with its waterways. Sam, welcome to Focus Delaware again. You've been here before, of course.
Thank you very much.
Sam, for those who don't know, what is Wilmington Waterways, and how did it get started?
Wilmington Waterways is a private, nonprofit organization. It's a citizens group who's interested in revitalizing the waterways, which is the Brandywine and the Christina rivers. It started about 6 years ago out of the initiative of Cityside Inc. and the Junior League. And what we're working on is a whole variety of activities to get people excited about the water, excited about the potential of the water, and then specifically we're working in close conjunction with the public and private sector to try to revitalize the area, southern Christina Gateway by the railroad station.
Now, you've been the executive for about 2 years.
2 years.
Okay. Your original background was in Washington, D.C., and then you came to Delaware with some federal projects. What's your background?
What I have done for 15 years is economic development. And what we've specialized in is private sector financing using different guarantees where necessary from the government to create jobs. And we've had the privilege of working for each of the last 4 presidents of the United States and working all across the country. We worked in 65 cities, and now we're working with 30 governors, and we've helped to create over 300,000 jobs.
Are you a Delaware native?
No, I was born in New York, and I wanted to move out of New York and move to Delaware.
What was the attraction with Delaware? I mean, you were dealing with the federal government and with federal dollars going various places. Why Delaware? What attracted you to Delaware?
There are 2 or 3 reasons. First, in the economic development area, I'd had the privilege and the opportunity of working closely with Mayor McLaughlin, and our experience over 15 years was that in smaller communities, you could just get more done. You could see results. You can bring people together, and it can be dramatic. And working under the leadership of the mayor, a lot of those same kinds of things have happened here. And then I'd had a lot of lifelong friends, and it's wonderfully located sort of halfway between the financial community and the government circle, so it was perfect. Mm-hmm. And it was outside of New York.
Now, we've set the framework now for talking about the ongoing projects of Wilmington Waterways. Why don't you start to give us a sampling of what we can expect to see? I know that it's now only on the drawing board, and you've conveniently brought a drawing board for us to illustrate some of these projects.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit before we go to the specific projects about the atmosphere that we're talking about.
Okay.
The overall goal is here in Delaware, by the railroad station, there's no reason we can't create our own version of Baltimore's Inner Harbor. And when you look at waterfront revitalization, what you find is people are tremendously attracted to water. You talk about the lure of water. It is very exciting. So, starting in 1983, about every 2 weeks from May through the end of October or the end of September, we've held a different activity. The most prominent of which, I suppose, is the Water Festival. But we've had families and children come down and picked up 30 garbage trucks worth of different junk in 17 different selected sites on a weekend. We've planted over 400 trees. Junior Achievement helped to build docks, and Jack Kelly, the former Olympic medalist, was down. Tom Colgan and others have started the Wilmington Rowing Club, so it's a whole excitement about the water. And in 1983, we had over 1,000 volunteers working on different projects towards revitalizing the waterfront, and the same in 1984. So there's a whole sort of electricity in the air based on what citizens can do if they join together to make a difference and to revitalize the waterfront. Now, from a development viewpoint, the specific area that we have selected is down by the railroad station. And on this map, the railroad station is here, and the city created the plan of the gateway with the Brandywine down to the Christina as being a focal economic development axis. And this past summer, one of the activities that we undertook was working with the Junior League and the Chamber of Commerce, was the locomotion party in the railroad station The railroad station was revitalized, it was completed, and it was exciting.
Where is that here?
The railroad station is here. Over 1,500 people on what has best to be described as a hot summer evening
Yes.
came down and danced and frolicked in the revitalized railroad station. Now, a lot of specific economic development activity is going on, and in the next 18 months, the whole area will change. Right here north of the Wilmington Boulevard, the dollars are committed to building a 600-car parking garage and intermodal bus terminal connected to the railroad station. So that will be built. With dollars from the state and from the city, the whole bulkheading along the northern part of the Christina, between Route 13 north and south, this part's already been completed, this part has already been financed. In Baltimore, they committed over $20 million of public sector, public improvements, so to get the ball rolling. And here, thanks to the state legislature, over $1 million of bulkheading. Over here, on this side, private development. Meckel Carbonell, which is the state's largest architectural firm, and Mitchell Associates, which is the state's largest interior design company, have bought the land. Demolition is underway, and they're both going to build their headquarters right on the Christina. Right behind it, the Delaware Theater Company is talking about building its new home, and that's not official yet because the answer is they're still raising the money, still finalizing the plans, but that's the goal. So what you'll start to get is, and Beneficial National Bank, their new building is being completed. And so between those four things, or five things, you'll have a whole different area just within the next 18 months.
What's the time schedule past the 18 months for the completion of all of this?
Well, you never can tell. The public sector, to complete this will be a major public and private sector partnership requiring everybody. One of the very exciting things which is up in the air, which will be very significant in terms of the outcome, in terms of timing, is Rick Collins as county executive and Mayor McLaughlin as the mayor, along with the city council and county council last March, announced that they were prepared to move the city-county building to the waterfront, which, if that's successful, will go right here. And we will know before year end whether that's a go or no-go. We have to be able to finance it at no additional cost to the taxpayer. Sell the existing building and then build a new one. And if that happens, then it speeds up the whole timing. What we're talking about, just connected with that, is a whole festival market. And those people who've been to Baltimore, that's that retail shopping. We're talking about putting aquarium elements in there. Why not have a shark tank with a restaurant right around the shark tank? Sort of create a Longwood Gardens with retail shops atmosphere, which would attract thousands of people. It would be very exciting, and it would really turn the whole area around. And then housing and a marina on the south part, which would complete it.
So I can envision not only an increase in quality of life, but quite an impact for employment in the area?
Well, I think by the time we get through, under the assumption, if you're an optimist, that it will all happen, you'd be talking about 2,500 to 3,000 new jobs in this area. I think it's inevitable that it will happen. The question is when. 10 to 15 years is likely. And what you're playing here with is a concept which is, the railroad station area is really the gateway to all of Delaware. You get off the railroad station, and for years it has been an area which is, let's call it an eyesore. And we have an opportunity here, all of us working together by the thousands of people with creative leadership, private sector, public sector, of creating what would be a showplace for all of Delaware, something which everybody could be proud of.
Well, on that note, we'll have to end the segment, and I hope you'll keep us apprised on the development progress that we're making here.
Well, thank you very much, and do the best we can.
Okay. This has been Sam Beard.